Welcome back to my series exploring the hidden secrets, connections, and details of Cyberpunk 2077's gigs. In this video, we're rounding off the Watson region by exploring the 3 remaining gigs in Little China. As always, huge thanks to my patrons for supporting these videos. You guys are awesome. Now get comfy and let's get to it. Some people just don't know when to quit at the casino. They'll rinse themselves of money, personal possessions, and in Jacob Lamb's case, his own cybernetic eye. What this ultimately means is some other gonk, like weak level 9V, has to go into said same casino afterwards and get back said cybernetic eye. Yes, if you have a tendency to complete gigs as breaks from the main quest, then no doubt you'll do this one pretty early in your playthrough. And forewarning, the guards here are extremely unforgiving. You head behind the bar, you die. You open the doors to the back room, you die. You try heading down the side alley, you die. You find out the casino has a cheat system and try to bribe the owner to give you the eye back, you don't die. And in fact, he just gives in and returns the eye in this case. Indeed, this method involves the least bloodshed, with you only having to take out 2 guards stealthily to get to the computer in the back and learn the secrets of this cheating casino. There's also a threatening message from Woodman on here, threatening to kill the son of someone named Rookie Johnson, who denied him his winnings. Lovely guy, that Woodman. Anyway, head around to the front again and the bribe option becomes available. Else, you can just loot the access key or pass the strength check to get inside the back storage room for yourself and take the eye. But I mean, come on, why deny yourself the satisfaction of facing down a dude who'd literally aggro and kill you in any other scenario and instead exploit him to get what you want? Just maybe head into the back room yourself afterwards anyway to get some other goodies like this nice jacket. Anyway, once you've got it, just deposit it nearby and Regina will explain that Jacob Lamb is going to keep a closer eye on his implants from now on. Come on, Regina, you can do better. And there are certainly better gigs out there than this one, but for one of the first in the game that you'll likely play, it's a decent way to dip your toes in the water. I name it a D+. The second of Little China's gigs that we'll unlock is called Bloodsport, and involves the infiltration of a gym, again owned by Tiger Claws, in order to rescue a coach named Ro Chi-1. You see, Ro Chi-1 is one of the best boxing coaches around, and during the course of his career has trained some of the absolute best fighters, including Masadu Coolidge, who's even gone on to be a sports commentator for N54 News. But one day, Masadu decided he'd had it with Night City and had a genius game plan to set him up for life. First up, he took a payment from the Tiger Claws to throw his next fight, before betting all that money on the fact that he would win. He betrayed the Tiger Claws, acquired a boatload of winnings, and blasted off in an AV before anyone could do anything about it. At least, anything to him. Out of other options, the Tigers then started kidnapping those closest to Masadu, with the obvious candidate being the guy who trained him into a great fighter to begin with, Ro Chi-1. Now, Masadu may like to play dirty, but he ain't gonna abandon those he cares about. That's where we come in, to infiltrate and extract Ro Chi before something terrible happens. Now, this is a pretty large gym with several enemies, and there's also a bonus if we do this one stealthily. The easiest way to achieve that is to come to this back door around the left, pass the strength check, or alternatively the tech check on the roof, and Ro Chi will be just down these stairs, being beaten to a pulp by a member of the Claws. And taking him out, we can read a pretty funny transcript highlighting just the type of hard ass that Ro Chi is. When questioned for Coolidge's location, he purely responds by insulting the guy's mother over and over again. If you do explore the ground floor, you'll also find a terminal suggesting the tournaments have been struggling to land the same success since Coolidge made off. I guess that gives the Tigers more than one reason for wanting his return. They need his popularity pull. Well, too bad they ain't getting it, because coming out the way you came, or through the gym if you dare, Ro Chi-1 will be free. And the final thing he'll want is to know who hired you to save him. We can maintain professional discretion, but personally, I think it's good on both parties for him to know that the guy who got him into this mess also had the common decency to make sure he got out. All in all, pretty nice gig, with a rare happy ending. B tier from me. Our third and final gig in Little China then comes at the end of the Watson gig chain. Seeing the name of this one, the Heisenberg Principle, I immediately assumed it would be something of a Breaking Bad reference. And, well, blowing up a glitter manufacturing lab, yeah, sounds like pretty big Breaking Bad vibes to me. So glitter is a substance made up for cyberpunk, which is highly addictive and incredibly easy to overdose on. So when the son of Arati Kapoor, the woman who owns the Masala Studios restaurant franchise, does just that, she channels her grief into something productive, or rather I should say destructive, contacting Regina, who then hires us to destroy the glitter lab in Little China and make one hell of a dent in the business. Now, doing so, however, won't be easy. The place is infested with tiger claws, so as usual, it's stealth or guns blazing. There's only one way inside with this one too, so it's not like we can even easily get behind people. Mind you, I'd recommend coming round to the back of this building anyway, and you'll find this police officer with a bit of legendary clothing. It appears as though he was tricked by a tiger claw, believing she wanted to help expose the gang's corruption, and once she got him alone, he was either killed by her or others in this alley. Head inside the lab then, take out the tiger claws, and you'll find two of them with some interesting archived convos. One involves someone named Odette Foster asking this Joe Canachero for some glitter at their party, and Joe, not knowing them, does not oblige. Interesting, the tigers don't sell this stuff to just anyone. The second is between this guy, Yusaku Ogata, and one Walter Brandis, whom apparently the whole operation depends on. Now, Brandis from the Shard seems to not have the same professionalism as one Walter White, and in fact this whole being too drunk or high to come in seems more like Jesse Pinkman behavior. But from the name alone, I'm gonna take this to be a minor nod to Breaking Bad. In this downstairs loungy room, we can find a Shard announcing the release of No Life 3 after 50 years of waiting. Now, you get 3 guesses as to what that's in reference to, which is one more than the number of releases we've had for this game series in real life. And on this terminal, we can find someone named Bartolomeo Modellini requesting some supplies, to which Joe is more than happy to oblige. Seems like not everyone's into glitter though, since this guy is smart enough not to request it for his party on account of it turning everybody into zombies, figuratively, and not literally, I'm assuming. Now, interestingly, up in North Kabuki, we can find a scanner hustle involving a party of tiger claws. And whether this is the same one, I couldn't say for certain, but they did get their glitter from this lab, which is a cool connection to find. But thanks to Arati and us, ain't nobody gonna be getting glitter from here again. Now, I found the actual task of blowing up the lab to be pretty underwhelming, so tossed a bunch of grenades about the place to make it feel a bit more spectacular. Be warned though, on the way out, you may have to face some more tigers, so be prepared for that. Otherwise, congratulations, the glitter empire hasn't been toppled, but it has been dealt a blow that should set it back for a short time at least. And at the end of the day, we get paid, which is also nice. Overall, pretty fun gig for late in the Watson quest chain, and glitter is something that crops up in reference throughout the game, which is cool. But in terms of how this one is mechanically structured, it doesn't do anything massively creative for a late game gig. There's not much storytelling here outside of readable shards, despite the fact that this one does a decent bit of world building, but it just has to receive a B tier though for the obvious Breaking Bad reference. Anywho, Watson has been by far the most fleshed out region of the game, and it's a real shame to realize when analyzing the distribution of gigs across different regions just how much must have been cut for time. Mind you, with all the smaller scanner hustles which tie back to gigs, I'm willing to bet there's also a bunch of scanner hustles which make references to gigs which were cut from the game. So my task for you is to comment below any scanner hustles you found which you believe allude to a wider untold story. And who knows, maybe in DLC we'll get some of that cut stuff back. Anyway, I'm looking forward to exploring the remaining regions with you guys. I feel like the rest will probably just wind up being longer videos which encompass the entire region, but who knows, we'll see. Massive thanks again as always to my patrons for helping to give me the freedom to put all the time necessary into videos like this without stressing about release schedules so much. I am, and always will be, extremely grateful to you guys. Thanks so much for watching. I'm Sam Bram, and I'll see you soon in another video.